Hi children, how are you? Hope you are keeping fine. The other day we had the live class. In that we have clarified many things. I was happy to have you on the line. Many of you asked question. I was happy, quite impressive and interesting. And I expect next live class we will also clarify full lesson of this Vedic age. Okay. Many of you did not come to the line, did not join the line. You are not on the line, you are off the line. And so now I am going to explain through this video the later Vedic age, about later Vedic age. As we have early Vedic age, the social life, political life, religious life, so also we have got the same type of points in later Vedic age. In later Vedic age, see, please open your book, page number 53. So, political life in later Vedic age. And see, just turn the page back and see that the brown shaded area in the map of India, ancient India, on page number 50 of your book. This area were the later Vedic age settlement. Here the Aryans came and settled in the Gangetic plain. These are the this is the place under the Ganga Yamuna Doab. What is the Doab? Doab means place in between the rivers, in between the two rivers is known as Doab, and this is very fertile land, and they Aryans came and settled over here. So in this period was later Vedic period, and in early Vedic period was the formation, composition of the Vedas. The Rig Veda was the only Veda composed during the early Vedic age. Now, later Vedic age, political life. In the later Vedic age, the king became more powerful. So, in early Vedic age, we have just the initial part of the kingdom, Janas and the Janapadas. Now, these Janapadas had become the kingdom, and the king was more powerful. Okay, his rule became hereditary. Now, no more republic. So, no more Janapadas. Now, it became the hereditary. That means sons inherited the fathers. Sons inherited the fathers, or the younger generation inherited the older generations. The properties and the whole administration, whole kingdom was inherited. The formation of larger kingdoms increased the power of the chief or the king. This chief or head of the tribe or the king also increased his area and became more powerful. The term Rashtra, which indicates a territory. Rashtra means territory, area of governance. Area of governance is known as Rashtra. Appeared for the first time. Rashtra appeared for the first time. What is the meaning of Rashtra? Please underline. So, during this period, the Sabha and Samiti, or the tribal assemblies, lost much of their control over the king. That means when king became powerful, this tribal group or the Sabha had no power. Who had the power? King had the power. Okay? Easy. Okay. Next. So, king had the overall control of the people and the area. So, no Sabha, no Samiti worked. Voluntary contributions of the Vis means common people, were now forcibly collected. Forcibly, that means by force volunteers were being gathered to do the common job. Okay, forcibly collected. The king was now assisted by many officials. King had the many officials, mantris. The king's influence was further strengthened by rituals. Now, these Brahmins were there, these were more powerful. So, rituals, in any act, the rituals were conducted by the Brahmins. So, they had a great role to play. He performed several sacrifices, including the Rajashya and the Ashwamedha and the Vajpaya as the demonstrations of the increase in his increasing prestige and power. So king had lot of power. Rajashwa, we call it Rajashwa. Then Ashwamedha is a Chakravarti king. And the Vajpayee was the Vajpayee as the demonstration. That means he had the words to say. No other ones can say. So, demonstrations of his kingdom, his increasing prestige and power. He demonstrated, he showed the power by doing the Ashwamedha Yajna. That means a horse was, Ashwamedha Yajna was, a horse was released, and whoever, and this, wherever horse goes, that area comes under him without any fight. Now, if anybody holds on to the king, means he is going to challenge him. So he has to fight. And if he loses, he will get back out. He will be the slave to the king. So he had to fight. But if he does not hold the horse, that is let loose, then that area, that means he accepts his sovereignty, his power, his prestige. That is the meaning of Ashwamedha Yajna. So it was very important. So to show his power, he had to do the Ashwamedha. The chief priest's position rose in importance as he performed the rituals, I said rituals, performed by the king, the Brahmins, Pujari, for the king. King was not doing puja. King was just standing. And who was saying that puja, who was doing, performing? The priest, high priest, or the state priest. The Ashwamedha Yajna was a horse sacrifice in which a horse belonging to the king was let loose to roam, go around. If the king of another kingdom allowed the horse to pass through unchallenged, that means he did not challenge. It means unchallenged. It means that the king accepted the superiority, that means his authority of the king performing the yajna. If it was stopped, if the horse, any king stops, a war ensured. That means he has to fight war. Late, that means he is challenging to fight, for fight. Later the horse was sacrificed. What is this mean, sacrifice? Dan. Ashwamedha Yajna was performed to great supreme power of the king. The king was elevated to the position of God's representative honor. So he was considered to be the representative of God. And so he was a supreme powerful man. He was adored. And so they used to prostrate before him, bow down before him. Okay, he was supreme power. He had the supreme power like gods. Okay, do you understand this much? Please read and try to understand. Bye.